He leads the team in scoring, in tackles, in sacks. They're going to need a huge night out of number 44 tonight. And for Page, it's Cameron Crucey, the quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback who can run it, he can throw it. He's extremely accurate. When he's back in the pocket, he can extend plays with his legs. He scored 30 touchdowns total on the season, and he's thrown for more than 1,700 yards.
Both teams expect to be in Chattanooga for the state championship at the end of the year. Got to win tonight to take that next step. But before kickoff, let's bring in the third member of our team, Sammy Kincaid, for an injury update.
Hey guys, for your Bart Durham injury update, let's start out on the Beech side. Out tonight, they've been out all season. It is the starting two nose guards for the Bucks. Out tonight will be Cole Davis with a dislocated knee, as well as Callum Alva. He's out with a torn ACL. Some good news for Beech is that wide receiver Jack Becker, he is going to be able to play tonight. He will be having limited play. He had a freak accident a few weeks ago where he was taking out the trash. A glass bottle slipped out, sliced his ankle, and he had to get 6 stitches. So they'll be watching him carefully tonight, but he will be able to play. Also out tonight for Page is Kingston Wells, the defensive lineman. That's your Bart Durham injury update. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have kickoff, coin toss, a lot more. Even Santa Claus is here in attendance, hoping to bring somebody a present here tonight.
Drop it, I'll flip it again. And it is tails, you win the toss. You want to defer by stand right there. Page wins the toss, and they defer. You want the ball to start the game, right? Which way do you want to kick? Okay, give me Page over here and Beech over there.
Beech will right out the first. Your Page Patriots will be on defense. Introducing tonight's visiting team, Beech High School. Athletic Director Christy Utley and the principal. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our Junior Patriots.
A spot in the 5A semifinals is on the line as the Page Patriots host the Beech Buccaneers on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572 on MyTV 30. Kickoff is just ahead, but first we pause for the Tennessee Army National Guard coin toss.
Drop it, I'll flip it again. And it is tails, you win the toss. You want to defer by stand right there. Page wins the toss, and they defer. You want the ball to start the game, right? Which way do you want to kick? Okay, give me Page over here and Beech over there.
The Beech Buccaneers will get the football to start this off. The Beech Buccaneers will get the football to start this off. Our white hat David White with the proceedings tonight. Winner moves on to the 5A semifinals. In only the second ever meeting between these two teams, the first time out was a 21-14 Beech win in the 2018 postseason. Page looking to avenge that today and keep a perfect season alive under head coach Charles Rathbone. Lucas Panzica, Josh Corey with you in the booth. Sammy Kincaid down on the field. It has been raining for 2 straight days in Middle Tennessee. I think Mother Nature is going to hit the pause button and let us play football tonight.
Yeah, it certainly has. And what a nice night. Third week in November, I will take 65 degrees anytime. And there you see Coach Crabtree in his 21st season at Beech High School. He is an icon over there on Shackle Island.
No doubt about it. Two-time state champion, and Coach Crabtree trying to lead his Buccaneers back to that mountaintop in a difficult environment here at Page High School. This is a blackout crowd that is ready to rock and roll for some late November football in the TSSAA. And we're ready for the opening kickoff. To get us underway, Page kicker Jonathan Baba set to boot it deep to Shelton Swafford and Jeremy Lasker, standing on their own 5-yard line for Beech. Win or go home with the state championship in Chattanooga on the horizon. And we are underway in the 5A quarterfinals as Baba knuckles it out the back of the end zone, and Beech will come out on their own 20-yard line to start things off on offense. A unit averaging nearly 40 points per game, called by head coach Anthony Crabtree. And it's really grown as the season has gone on. Replaced a lot of starters in the preseason, and they have found their groove, outscoring Munford 33-30 in a second-round victory a week ago, led by senior quarterback Caden Powell, the Kentucky baseball commit that's really matured as the season has gone on. Dual threat quarterback taking the shotgun snap on 1st and 10 and trying to go right up the gut. Page saying no sir, driven backwards. Might have picked up a yard on the play as we take a look at the Beech offensive starters. Presented by BMC Metalworks, Caden Powell, the lead rusher for this team at quarterback, a 1,000-yard rusher, but they are happy to have Shelton Swafford, the ETSU commit, back at running back after missing the second half of the regular season with a collarbone injury. It's a Page group that wants to ground and pound, run the clock, and stay on schedule as they face a 2nd and 9 here on the opening possession. Flags on the field. Early laundry tonight. Here's David White.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense number 40. 5-yard penalty remains second down.
That'll put Beech on schedule to open things up.
Yeah, Coach talked about being able to move the football. That's the easiest way to move the football right there.
No doubt about it. This is a Page defense, though, that has a high standard, upholding the elite level that this group played at a year ago. Despite replacing starters, this group is back and allowing 10 points per game this season. Sean Cunningham, the lead tackler, in the middle of that unit, number 4 in black. Here is 2nd and short. Quick throw is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Cohen Grissom getting his hands up, and it brings up 3rd down for Beech.
Yeah, you mentioned Caden Powell. I was wondering why the quarterback was the leading rusher until I stood next to him in warm-ups. 6'3", 230. Little play action right there on 2nd down. And the Page defender does a good job of getting his hands, Cohen Grissom, there in the passing lane.
This Page crowd making noise early here on a 3rd and 4. First one of the game. They're going to go right up the middle. Shelton Swafford runs straight into a pile and not going to get close to the marker. Driven back, and it's looking like a 3 and out to start things off. Emmanuel Johnson leading the charge for that Page front.
Yes, it's a big-time play right there by number 71, right in the A-gap right there. Just kind of stands up the blocker, and what a great job by Page's front 7 here in the first in the first drive of the game, because Beech is looking to establish the running game, and the Patriots are not having it so far.
Picked up 1 or 2 on the play, but either way, Beech will be forced to boot it away as Charles Rathbone is having a quick conference here with our officiating crew. Not sure what about. No flags on the field. Clock keeps ticking at 9:28 to go, but The play clock is not moving at the moment, so trying to get something sussed out down at field level here.
It looks like they've got a jumbotron here in the north end zone, and that one's working right there. The other clock in the other end zone is not working, and anytime they start pulling out those iPads and things like that, they've got some type of technical issue.
Yeah, never a good sign.
I've known Coach Rathbone for a while, and I know that he's probably not the guy who's going to fix that. He's a heck of a football coach. He's probably not great with IT, and so he just wants it fixed.
You think that's what that meeting's about?
Yeah, just get it fixed. Just get it fixed.
Charles Rathbone, former offensive lineman at Carson Newman, and let's just say his teams play like it. When you talk about a team taking on the personality of his head coach, same goes for the Beech Buccaneers and Anthony Crabtree, two tough-nosed football teams that are not afraid to get down into the mud and run the football, as David White will give us an explanation here. Or not.
He looked like he was going to do it, but
anticipation building at Page High School. I'll tell you what, this will test the team's resolve early on, right? You get jacked up for a 5A quarterfinal. And we're getting a great face profile here of David White.
I think that he's trying to confirm that whatever they're looking at is indeed
we will
fixed
not
down
be
there.
keeping the down and distances. The referees need the main clock to keep the clock.
Might have been posing for a headshot here with our great Friday Night Rivals crew.
We are ready to go.
Here we go.
4th and 2. Like it never happened. Clock is back to over 10 minutes and ticking at 10:07 to play in the first quarter, as booting it away is Brock Miller. And back deep to receive, wiggling free between the hash marks is Peyton Dickerson. And the Page Patriots will start with good field position. First time we get a chance to see this offense come out. And it is led by the junior quarterback, Cameron Cruzy, who moved in from Kansas City in the offseason. And Josh, he brought his dynamic dual threat ability with him. He has powered an offense that's averaging over 41 points per game, scoring 30 total touchdowns doing it.
Yeah, he's an extremely accurate passer, 73% completion percentage, doesn't make mistakes very often, and is definitely the leader of this Page offense.
And he's going to keep it on 1st and 10, a slide into Beech territory. The key to the game for the Patriots was don't leave runners on base. Nifty little slide that would make any baseball coach proud from Cameron Cruz as he picks up 7 on 1st down. Take a look at the BMC Metalworks starters. Isaac Odie, the sophomore running back, and a litany of wide receivers that can catch the football. Caden Ackerman, the leader of that group. As faking the give and keeping it is Cruzy. Beech not fooled this time. Owen Knight knifing in, and the sophomore drags down the Page quarterback to bring up 3rd and short. Here are the Beech starters, allowing just under 18 points per game. DK Williams, our player to watch, wearing 44, just eats up tackles at 159 on the season. The junior backer has a tall task tonight, leading this defense.
Yeah, when you talk to Coach Crabtree, that was his concern heading into the season, is how fast this defense would grow up. They had a lot of inexperience, and they've done a really good job as the season's gone on.
On 3rd and short, they go right up the gut. Isaac Ote, the lead rusher for this football team. Over 750 rush yards on the year, averaging nearly 8 yards a carry, and he gets the job done there.
Yeah, nice job up there by the right side of that Page offensive line. We'll see Preston Ashmore, right guard Caleb Kaufman doing a nice job of getting movement on the LOS.
Changes at the line of scrimmage for a Page offense that has set some program records this year, but Charles Rathbone still feels like they have not reached their ceiling in terms of consistency. trying to take another step tonight in the 5A quarterfinals. Cruzy pump fakes the screen, and there's a flag out as the face mask got tugged on 1st and 10. Likely going to be a free first down for the Patriots.
It's definitely going to be a face mask right there, but how about coming out on that first series, 3 straight runs right there, trying to set the tone early on.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 44. 15 yards added to the end of the run. Yardage results in a first down.
DK Williams on the face mask. No, check that. Barrett Brown reaching back for it.
Yep, Barrett likes to have that one back, and of course that's going to move the chains on a 15-yard penalty right there. But like I was saying, Coach Crabtree is very proud of how this defense has matured and gelled together here as the season's run, and actually a strength now of this Beech football team.
Yeah, young group to start the season that has been a huge part of this 10-game winning streak for the Buccaneers. James Pierre gets a turn. He's got the edge as he scuttles out of bounds inside the 25. Pierre, who transferred in from Webb School in the offseason. Nice little stiff arm to finish off the play, but looks like there is some more laundry on the field.
Yeah, potentially holding there on the perimeter. See what the call is. Looks like they're coming back this way, but anytime you get somebody on the perimeter who separates, you got to let those hands open and let the defender go.
Holding, offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
So that'll back up the Patriots on the first penalty against the home team tonight, a group that racked up 256 rush yards a week ago in their second round win over Kirkwood. They've been explosive all year in the passing game, but it is set up by this run. A 3-headed monster of Pierre and Ote in the backfield, and Cruzy, the junior quarterback. But this is 1st and 20 for the Patriots. They dump it down to Pierre. Quick change of direction, and Pierre able to work his way back inside the 25 as he gains back the yardage lost due to penalty like it never happened.
Yeah, this is just a matchup right here. They're trying to get Pierre out in space. You see DK Williams from Beech miss the tackle right there. You make one guy miss, and you've got yardage in front of you. And just trying to get the ball in your playmaker's hands and let him do his thing. Well designed right there. It's exactly the matchup that they were looking for.
Pickup of 14. It puts him over 700 rush yards on the season. Under 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Here is 2nd and 6 for the Patriots. Cruzy will flare it out again to Pierre. And that's a nice low tackle. Ball is out. Beech on the run with it. Coming back the other way is J.R. French. He's dragged down deep into Page territory, and the Buccaneers come up with the turnover. Football jarred loose late, and J.R. French scooped it up, and in a flash, got down to the 30-yard line.
Just a screen pass right there. You got to get blocks on the perimeter. They don't do it. You see DK gets in there. French grabs it, picks it up, goes the other way. And first big play of the game goes to the Bucs D.
Huge boost for the Buccaneers on the sudden change. They quickly hand off to Swafford. Stiff arm at the sideline. A good first down gain for the future ETSU Buccaneer. Another late flag comes in, as we have had a stop and start first quarter here in this quarterfinal matchup.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 0. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And that quickly flips the script on the Patriots, who were knocking on the door of the red zone. Josh, 2 plays later, it's Beech who's inside the Page 20.
They call that on Knight Wilson, the defender for Page right there. Let's check it out right here. Number 0 there. You see the right hand on the face mask. And great call by the official to catch that coming in on that 3rd level right there.
Let's run downstairs to Sandy Kincaid.
Hey guys, I'm listening in to the Page huddle, and the message is very consistent from the coaches to the players. We're not going to mope around about what just happened. This is very early on. Keep your head up, keep your spirits high, because we still got this.
And on 1st and 10, Caden Powell barrels up the middle, getting down to the 12 of the Patriots. You know, one thing that Page has not faced this year, Josh, is a close game coming down to the wire. Their average margin of victory this year, over 31 points per game. Obviously early, still just 6 minutes to play in the first, but you just get the feeling this is going to be a 4-quarter battle for a spot in the semifinals.
Yeah, and as a coach, you always wonder how your kids are going to respond.
On play action, Powell wants to throw, lobs, out of bounds, incomplete, looking for Wyatt Davis.
Yeah, when you have a situation as a coach, when you haven't had to play 48 minutes the entire year, you're just blowing people out. And, when you get in one of these tight ball games, you really don't know how your kids are going to react and that kind of thing when they're in a dogfight for 4 quarters. And the good thing about it is both these teams play so deep in the playoffs, and this is a very veteran and experienced team on really both sides of the football.
No doubt, both are plenty used to playoff football. Here is 3rd and 8 for the Beech Buccaneers inside the Page 15. Powell keeps up the middle, and the pile is pushed inside the 10 to bring up 4th and short. And now decision time for the Buccaneers.
This is a quarterfinal game. Knowing Coach Crabtree, they're going to leave number 13 out there and try to pick up these 2 yards. Just about 5:17 left in the first quarter.
4th and 3. Beech shifting its formation. It will be Powell up the middle, has the first down, has the touchdown. A statement start for the Beech Buccaneers as they cash in on the turnover, and the gamble pays off as the Bucs take a 6-0 road lead. Caden Powell with a South College touchdown, his 14th rushing score of the season.
I tell you what, it's a great call right there. When you've got a 230-pound quarterback, got some lead blockers in front of him, all he's got to do is get downhill, and that's exactly what he did right there.
4 flags on the field. Some illegal shifting on the Beech special teams unit. A lot of laundry for 2 typically very disciplined teams this late in the season.
Yeah, and when you're playing in the quarterfinals, you think a lot of this is cleaned up, but a lot of jitters, first quarter, big playoff game. Hopefully those will get cleaned up.
Extra point is up and through, courtesy of Thomas Mendoza. And Caden Powell is fired up on the Beech sideline after powering in the first touchdown of the night. Beech with a 7-0 lead in the 5A quarterfinal. The calm before the storm here at Page High School. Man, this has been a rocking environment for this 5A quarterfinal matchup. Our national anthem moment presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Thrilled to have you here late in the season. Lucas Panzica, Josh Corey with you in the booth. Sammy Kincaid down on the field. Winner moves on to the 5A semifinals in the TSSAA playoffs. And Page a bit stunned to start things off. The Patriots forced an early punt, looked like they were in business on offense, but just like that, a fumble and a run back by the Beech defense set up a Caden Powell touchdown, and it's the Bucks who have an early road lead as Mendoza's kickoff is fielded by Dickerson. He's unable to get back to the 20. Now Page will try to formulate a response on offense.
Yeah, how about capitalizing on the mistake of Page if you're Beech? You know, it's one thing to get the turnover, but to actually take it down, punch it in for 7. I mean, that's what you have to do when you're in a playoff game. Both of these teams are equally matched, taking advantage of those opportunities.
Cameron Cruzy comes back out onto the field. The dual threat quarterback who just picked up his first Power 4 offer from the Miami Hurricanes. They'll give to Ote on 1st and 10, tripped up with nowhere to go.
And you see Page, they are really relying on the run. We knew they had a great run game right there, but that's the reason that that number 44 was our key player, DK. He's all over the place. He's their leading tackler, leads the team in sacks. Just a phenomenal play right there by that young man.
Yeah, now over 160 tackles on the season for the junior, who's taken a huge leap in this defense here in 2025. There's a pickup of 1. Cruzy brings Rimple in motion to throw on 2nd and 9. In trouble, and Cameron Cruzy's going down. Wyatt Davis gets home. Now up to 6.5 sacks on the season. And it sets back Page for a 3rd and 11.
Wyatt Davis showing you why he's second on this team behind DK Williams in sacks right there. Senior linebacker with a great play to bring the quarterback down. And Page is in a little bit of a hole right here. They've got to respond after that touchdown. They're behind the chains here on 3rd down.
Well, that sack just took Davis to 6.5 and the team lead on the Bucks defense. Maybe some competition brewing on that end as Page tries to dig out. Cruzy's going to take off again. He's tripped up by Williams. Got back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing going on that drive for the Patriots. How about this Beech defense locking in on its 2nd possession of the game?
Yeah, and the front guys are doing a great job, but let me talk about the 2nd level and the 3rd level defenders in the secondary for Beech. There's a reason that Cruzy they're able to throw the ball downfield because the Bucks have everything covered up downfield, and he's got no choice but to tuck it and go, and DK Williams is not going to let that happen.
So Page on its heels early, inside 3 minutes to play in the 1st quarter. Baba to punt it away. 2 players back deep for the Bucks, and this will be Brock Miller running it out. He's got some room on the left side into Page territory before he's brought down. A special team stop made by Colin Mulick, and now Beech will try to build on its lead. A 7-0 advantage in the 5A quarterfinals, and it's the Buccaneers with the early momentum in Franklin, Tennessee. So the Beech offense will convene and get ready to come back out onto the field. How impressed are you by this Beech defense standing tall the way they have, forcing a turnover and then getting the 3-and-out stop?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Beech fan, you couldn't, really script this any better than the way this started. Now they take over this possession right here. They're in plus territory.
We'll be back with more right after this. 2:32 to go in the first quarter. Beech with a 7-0 lead.
Welcome back to Page High School, where Beech currently leads Page 7-0, and I am joined by Staff Sergeant Daniel Freeze. And first off, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for joining me down here tonight. And can you tell me, how is the Tennessee Army National Guard different from other military branches?
Yeah, so the great thing about the Tennessee Army National Guard is we're state and federal focused. So if anybody who does the Guard, it's part-time military, so it allows them to pursue any kind of educational careers or full-time careers while serving in the military.
That's fantastic. And what jobs can somebody have whenever they're in the Tennessee Army National Guard?
So we have a ton of different jobs in the Guards. We have everything from Engineer Corps, which is what I was in. We have IT, medical. So anything that you can think of on the civilian side, we have that in the Guard as well.
A lot of different career paths. And tell me, a lot of people talk about the benefits of being in the military, but what benefit is specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
So that would be our Tennessee Strong. That Tennessee Strong is specific to the state of Tennessee, and it will allow students to, especially in high school or at any age, to go to college full time, and we'll pay for it.
Well, thank you again so much for your service, and thank you as always to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, up to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Beech back in business after forcing the Page punt. 7-0 lead in this 5A quarterfinal matchup. Lucas Panzica, Josh Corey with you in the booth. You just heard from Sammy Kincaid downstairs. The Buccaneers with Caden Powell at quarterback. Going to give to Swafford his third carry of the evening. Jets up the middle as he works his way inside the 40. A pickup of 3 for the ETSU commit.
Yeah, Swafford is a heck of a story. We're going to have him mid-season. They're trying to ease him back in, but good for Beech that he's finally back.
Yeah, was leading the charge as the bell cow back before breaking his collarbone in week 5 and kind of forced Beech to spread the love a little bit in terms of the carries. And now Swafford's back, and the Bucks have plenty of players with experience running the football, including Jeremy Lasker, the receiver in motion, scampering out of bounds, and there's a late flag to boot. The speedster gets inside the 25 with his 21st carry of the season. It'll be a Beech first down and then some.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 1. 15 yards added to, penalty yardage will be added half the distance to the goal to the end of the run, first down.
Just like that.
Just a little extra nudge right here, but how about the speed right there on the perimeter of Jeremy Lasker? Coach Crabtree talked about what a special player he was and what a year he's had. He can really get loose once he gets a little space in front of him.
Yeah, only a sophomore, already starting to collect plenty of offers as Page head coach Charles Rathbone looks on. His defense looking to stand tall here and avoid a 2-score deficit in this quarterfinal battle. Powell right back up the middle. He's swallowed up inside the 10. And we have seen a healthy dose of Caden Powell, the battering ram, committed to play baseball at Kentucky. But he's a 1,000-yard rusher for this Beech football team. You know, you see baseball players playing quarterback and you figure they're going to be gunslingers and want to throw it all over the field. This guy likes to tuck and run.
Yeah, he likes to get downfield and not throw the football. He wants to run it. He's averaging almost 11 yards a carry this season, is the leading rusher for this Beech football team.
Here's 2nd and 8 from the 10. Brings Davis in motion. calls his own number again, and Powell has some room on the left side. Caden Powell is in. Make it 2 touchdowns for the senior quarterback in the first quarter. And Christmas looks like it might be coming early for Beech here with a 13-0 lead, a South College score for Caden Powell.
You know what I love about this? How about the speed of the big quarterback once he hits the edge right there? Page defender loses contain right there, and that's all that Powell needs to scoot in the end zone for his second touchdown of the evening.
Does it with 55 seconds remaining on the first quarter clock. Mendoza knocks in the extra point. And this Page crowd, a little bit stunned, Josh. This is totally new territory for the 2025 season.
Yeah, I don't think that they've ever, I'd like to know the last time that they've been down by 14. And, heck of a first quarter start here for Beech. I don't know that anyone imagined this, but, again, Beech taking advantage of the start of that series in plus territory, punching it in from 43 yards out. It's a quarterback again. He's done a nice job of getting downhill. That time he kind of bounces it outside. And, just a great start for Bucks.
14-0 score for Beech, who's got their eyes on the Blue Cross Bowl in Chattanooga. Both of these teams do. Beech, 2-time state champs. Page have been to the state championship each of the last 4 years, still looking to get over that hump. Here's the schedule coming up in a couple of weeks. Always sneaks up on you. But here we are in late November, coming up on that Thursday, Friday weekend at Finley Stadium, with the D2 games on Thursday and D1 finishing out Friday and Saturday as the kickoff from Thrall soars out of bounds. And that will help out Page's field position here as the Patriots just trying to get out of the gates on offense.
Yeah, Page will take whatever they can get right now. If the kicker's going to put it out of bounds, they'll take it. But Coach Rathbone needs his offense to do something here. They may have to start pitching the ball around a little bit to maybe hold some of those Beech defenders from just lining in the box, especially on first down when that's a run down.
The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, first down.
Anthony Crabtree certainly happy with the start his team has had. But to your point, Cameron Cruzy has yet to attempt a pass tonight.
Yeah, hasn't passed the ball yet, and they're going to have to kind of start mixing it up a little bit to keep that Beech defense on their heels a little bit more.
Drive starting on the 35.
The Patriots can throw the football very well. They've thrown for more than 1,700 yards, has Cruzy this year, 25 touchdowns through the air, only 3 interceptions. And so they can throw the football. Obviously, Caden Ackerman is their bell cow at receiver, number 6. He averages 19 yards a catch, and so let's see if they get him involved here in the game plan.
Cruzy going to tuck and run again. Looking for the edge. He's tangled down. J.R. French was shot out of a cannon from the safety spot. And Cruzy's dropped for a loss of 2.
Yeah, love the aggressiveness by Beech's defense right here. They get that look right there, and they're not stopping and just kind of buzzing their feet and waiting. They are attacking the line of scrimmage, getting after it, and that was just a great job by J.R. French right there.
22 seconds left in the first quarter, but Page will have to get a playoff as we're under 15 on the play clock. Cruzy gives to Pierre, and he barely gets across the line of scrimmage. Brought down from behind by Keith, the sophomore, and the first quarter will end with Beech taking all the momentum into the second stanza of this 5A quarterfinal. The Buccaneers with a 14-0 road lead, and the Patriots facing a 3rd and long when we return on MyTV 30.
Ave Medical, Stonegate Homes, Bosselman Automobile.
Welcome back to Page High School, where Beech currently leads Page 14-0. And I was listening in on the Page sideline to the defensive coordinator talking to his players, saying, stay balanced. They got a taste, but we have to step it up. It is what it is. Stay balanced. Just take it one play at a time and just relax. Cut out the dumb penalties and relax. That's the main message that's being conveyed right now on the Page sideline. Guys, up to you.
Hey, thanks, Sammy. Page defensive coordinator Sean Temple, who has done such a great job with this group over the last couple of years. Having trouble stopping this Beech run game, but right now it's Page with the football facing a 3rd and 9 inside their own 40-yard line. Lucas Panzica, Josh Corey with you in the booth. 11 carries for 29 yards as an offense on the ground for Page. What is Beech doing so well to nullify the run game?
Well, they haven't had to honor the pass. You know, Page has not attempted a pass all night long. And when you're a defender and you can just play the run and pin your ears back, it makes it a heck of a lot easier.
Cameron Cruzy, a 72% passer this season. And he will put it in the air here. First attempt of the day goes way over the head of his number 1 receiver, Caden Ackerman. And it's another 3 and out for the Page offense.
Yeah, Ackerman ran a great route right there. The pass was nowhere near where it needed to be for the receiver. And Cruz is just off a little bit in that first throw. And, you know, when they start moving the football, they're going to have to do something on first down with play action and kind of hold those defenders and try to push the ball downfield. But that one wasn't even close.
Baba back out to punt it away for Page. Handles the low snap and boots it towards Miller. With a head of steam across the 45-yard line, Brock Miller pushed near midfield. And it'll be, again, solid starting field position for the Beech Buccaneers, who have certainly asserted themselves on the ground tonight, as maybe a couple of extracurriculars will get cleaned up here. No flags on the field.
There's an 18-yard return right there. Really puts them in good field position. That's one of the things that we talked about in the open that was important for Beech, is that field position that they were going to have to play. And, you know, this is the second drive. This is not plus territory by 2 yards, but it's about as close as you can get. Great starting field position for the Bucs right here on this drive.
Caden Powell, the senior quarterback who has run in both Beech touchdowns, this time hands off, straight up the gut, inching into Page territory. The Buccaneers giving to Shelton Swafford. Anthony Crabtree told us we've got to play with a lead in this game and run the football at our own pace. And 1/4 of the way through, they're achieving that goal at the moment.
Yeah, you pick up 4 yards, first down right there. You're staying ahead of the chains. The offensive line is just doing a great job of moving the pile right there and really owning the trenches so far here in the first quarter, start the second quarter.
On 2nd and 6, it will be Powell again, barreling across the 45 near the marker. Caden Powell just running through tackles against a vaunted Page defense.
I mean, when he gets downhill right there, it's well executed, but they have lead blockers. They get a little misdirection right there. They've got that big offensive line that just kind of leans on you a little bit. And you've got 230 coming down the pipe right there. I mean, that's a big-time play, and what they've been able to do offensively has been very impressive on the ground.
Here's a big chance for Beech to extend the drive on 3rd and 2. Blown dead before Swafford could get the give.
Beech. First charge timeout of the first half.
First one of the game from either team. The Beech Buccaneers want to bring it in and talk about it. 3rd and 2 upcoming as the Bucs lead the Patriots 14-0 on the road in the 5A quarterfinals. You hear that?
No.
They asked us to move your mic closer, as close as possible. The cowbells are really loud. Maybe drowning us out. Is that any better?
Well, the cowbells aren't ringing, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
Aren't they supposed to stop that like 2 seconds before the. This 2-down territory.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he wants to go.
Tonight's broadcast of Friday Night Rivals can also be seen streaming live on mytv30web.com, Fox 17 Facebook Live, and YouTube. Brought to you by South College, where dreams find direction.
.5A quarterfinal action in Franklin, Tennessee. As you take a look at some of the scores around the TSSAA playoffs, Maryville and Blackman tied at 7 in the first half. And how about Green Hill tied at 7 with Oakland, trying to keep pace and pull off the upset. Centennial up 10-7 over Henry County. The winner of that game will face the winner of this one in the 5A semifinals as Beech leads Page by 2 scores. Here's 3rd and 2 in Page territory, and Caden Powell picks it up as he approaches the 40-yard line. And right now, this Page defense just doesn't have an answer for the quarterback run game of the Buccaneers.
Yeah, it's exactly what Beech wanted to do offensively. They wanted to grind it out on the ground. They wanted to win the time of possession, keep the clock moving, shorten the game, all that good stuff. They've been able to do just that so far in this game.
Tell you what, it feels like Caden Powell has just been running roughshod tonight. He's got 7 carries for 31 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here's some play action for the senior quarterback. Nothing going, and he's going to take off and run. Look at Caden Powell move as he slips up. Tripped over the numbers across the 40 and ends up running for about 30 yards to pick up 2.
Yeah, when you're a big quarterback like this, especially when it's been raining all day, that's a lot to try to change direction real quickly, and that's too many moves right there for the big quarterback. But he hadn't done very many things that he wasn't supposed to do. That one he probably should have got north and south and got downhill like he's been doing all night.
Look, I don't know about you, but if it's me, that's a torn ACL on that play.
Oh, so no doubt. Yeah.
Caden Powell has been putting on a clinic running the football. We'll see if he keeps it between the tackles on this one. Snap over his head. Powell's just trying to cover it up, and he does. The Bucks avoid the turnover, but are headed backwards on a miscue as Jonas Green, the Beech center, sent it right by the head of his quarterback.
Yeah, that's a heads-up play by Caden Powell just to fall on it right there. But Page needed something like this to happen to put them in a situation where they could catch a break. Looks like they finally caught one that puts it third and that Rutterville sign, which is about a mile down the road.
How about 3rd and 35? See what Beech has in the bag for this one. And I think Anthony Crabtree wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
So he'll bring it in. Second time out of the half for the Buccaneers. Who hold a 14-0 lead, but face a 3rd and forever when we return on MyTV 30.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners Sonic, Tennessee Army National Guard, South College, Bart Durham Injury Law, Western Kentucky University, BMC Metalworks, Wilson Bank and Trust, Josh Houston and Associates, and UA Local 572, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.
3rd and 35. Beech leading Page 14-0 in the second quarter. Where do you stand on pre-Thanksgiving Christmas get-up?
We had this conversation earlier. I'm totally against it before Thanksgiving. Let's wait till the Saturday after.
Glad we're on the same page. 3rd and 35, and Beech is going to keep it on the ground with Jeremy Laster, the speedster, able to get back into Page territory. And it does bring up 4th down.
14 land steal.
So the Buccaneers likely going to have to punt it away here, and they will.
Yeah, I like this decision right here. We talked about playing the game of field position right here. They got an opportunity really to pin Page deep, and got a lot back on that one. But still, when it's 3rd and 35, it's still 4th and quite a long distance here.
Peyton Dickerson, the man back deep, as Miller boots it into the Franklin Knight and out of bounds right at the 20-yard line where they'll spot it.
Rip one.
7:31 to go in the second quarter. Page will get it back down 2 scores as we hope you'll stay with us. The United States Navy halftime report coming up as we highlight this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, show participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the country and plenty more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. You're going to want to stick around for some of those highlights.
100%. And, for Page, speaking of highlights, they got to start creating some highlights. Love to see some play action pass right here on 1st down.
Page right now, 29 total yards of offense. And they will check it down and through the hands, incomplete. Knight Wilson, the Air Force commit, unable to hang on as something just kind of feels off right now about this Page offense.
Yeah, that's just a lack of focus right there on completing the catch. And, it's something that Coach Rathbone was like, hey, we're struggling. You got to help the quarterback out a little bit. You got to make that catch, especially a Division I football player. He'd love to have that one back.
On 2nd and 10, Cruzy goes up the middle as there's a positive play from Isaac Ote, the sophomore back. And Charles Rathbone says, feels like he's been around forever, only a sophomore that got a ton of snaps as a freshman a year ago and really bulked up in the offseason, and here he is knocking on the door of an 800-yard season.
Yeah, he's had a great season and really like Page mixing it up right here on offense, trying to keep that defense off balance. They're going to have to do that if they're going to punch the ball in the end zone.
After a 7-yard pickup, flag is down.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 72. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's a tough thing right there when you've got 3rd and manageable. Now you move back to put yourself in a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 situation here. This Page football team averages about 9 to 10 penalties a game, which is way too much for a team with his sights set on going to state championship.
3rd and 8, Cruzy throwing on the run, and this time he does connect right down the sideline with Dickerson, who's able to scamper out for a 1st down, and we'll see if that lights the fire under this Page offense. A Bart Durham injury law chain mover for Dickerson, pickup of 13.
They got Cruzy on the move out there to his right-hand side. Great adjustment to the football right there by Peyton Dickerson, who comes back around. Ball was a little thrown to the opposite side than he was expecting it, but a nice adjustment there by Dickerson to move the change.
Puts it on the 35-yard line. More quick passes here. This time Ackerman has his first catch. The Samford commit, senior receiver, had a huge year. That puts him over 860 yards on the season. as they get him involved for a 9-yard first down gain.
Yeah, Ackerman definitely the go-to guy in this Page passing attack right there. Like the play calling right now, it's keeping this Beech defense on their heels a little bit, kind of guessing what's coming next, and that's exactly where you want to be if you're the Page Patriots.
On 2nd and 2, Cruzy. Quick screen. Again, it's Dickerson. Makes a move at the 45, and he's across midfield. Some momentum for this Page offense as it moves the chains, and we run downstairs to Sammy Kincaid.
Hey guys, quarterback Cameron Cruzy, he moved from the Kansas City area to Franklin with his dad, who's in his first year with the Tennessee State Tigers, and as he's the special teams coordinator for them. Jared Cruzy, his dad is in his 17th year as a college coach and also been on staff with multiple NFL teams. Coach Rathbone told us you could say Cam treats football somewhat like a job because he's seen it firsthand with his dad. He craves being around football. Cam said, I've grown up with it. I don't know any different.
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. Cruzy quickly earned the respect of his teammates when he came in and got into a starting quarterback competition. It was neck and neck, but he won the job, and only a junior, but Josh, he's been playing since his freshman year of high school, a coach's son, like Sammy mentioned. I know you know a little something about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Had the opportunity to play for my dad in high school, and it's a tough thing, but he's had a great season and love the play call mix right now by Page.
And he'll pull this handoff as he dives across the 40, maybe just shy of the first down, but now Page starting to pick up some momentum on offense as it brings up 3rd and less than a yard.
It's pretty close. I want one of those virtual measurements right here.
What do we got to do for a Skyhawk in TSSAA?
Like they've got a couple drones up there. Can we shoot this right here?
Look, at the rate at which we're evolving with technology in high school football, we got Jumbotrons. I feel like that's the next step. Again, pulling the handoff. Cruzy takes a big hit, and the flag will come in. Slow to get up. Cameron Cruzy looked like he might have been starting to slide as Williams came in like a heat-seeking missile.
Yeah, I'll have to see the
15 yards
replay.
out to the end of the run, first down.
I'll have to see the replay on this one because, it's so hard as a defender. You've got a quarterback that's running the football, and that was a tough shot right there. But, you can't hit the quarterback in the head. He was giving himself up. But that's tough as a defender to decide, okay, is this guy giving himself up or is he still a runner? That's a tough situation right there.
It will force Cruzy to come off for the moment. So junior quarterback Drew Rimple, who Cruzy competed with in the offseason for the starting job, is in the game for the Patriots. He'll tuck and run, and nowhere to go. He's slung down by Davis. Dropped for a loss. And Cruzy looks like he's going to come right back in.
That's a great job by the Beech defense right there. Gap integrity up front. Everybody was playing their assignments. There was nowhere to run right there. And just an incredible job of stretching that play out.
Across the 4-minute mark in the second quarter. On 2nd and 12. The most promising Page drive since the opening series of the game that ended in a Page fumble near the red zone. Ote dances up towards the 20, shakes the tackle, makes another move, and ball is out. Ackerman catches it, throws in. A little bit of magic for the Patriots to find a way into the end zone. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And Caden Ackerman was Johnny on the spot for the South College touchdown.
Well, they had the tackle here. He scooted away. Didn't secure the football. Ball's popped up in the air from behind. Ackerman's just hustling on the play exactly where he should be around the football. He's a receiver. He catches the ball and runs it in just like he always does.
And just like that, Page is on the board with a chance to cut the Beech lead in half. Baba knocks it in. Just like they drew it up. Beech has its 14-point lead cut down to 7.
Hey, it doesn't matter how it happens as long as it happens right there. A couple missed tackles, not fundamentally sound. Watch right here from behind, knocks it up in the air. Great concentration by Ackerman, who runs it into the end zone like he's done all year long. Right place, right time, Caden Ackerman.
He will take it. Speaking of coaches' sons, Ackerman, the son of Miami Dolphins special teams coordinator Craig Ackerman, former Titans special teams coach, and he has been a big-time leader for this Page football team throughout his high school football career, and will extend his career on to play for the Sanford Bulldogs in Birmingham after his senior year.
Yeah, he's another one of those kids that's just been around the game his entire life, coach's kid, and saw his dad in the stands earlier tonight. He gets they're on a bye week, the Dolphins are, so he gets a chance to watch his son and go score a touchdown. Not the way they drew it up, but you know, when you're struggling like Page has been, they'll take it any way they can get it right now because they're on the board.
Yeah, counts all the same to cap an 11-play, 80-yard touchdown drive as the Buccaneers will get it back with a touchdown lead, 3.5 minutes to play. This is Laster taking Crawl's kickoff and swarmed before he reaches the 20. So now this blackout crowd at Page High School has something to cheer about as the Patriots defense will come out. Be sure to stay with us in the fourth quarter. We'll tell you our UA Local 572 player of the game. Will it be Caden Powell, who has both Beech touchdowns on the ground, the junior quarterback, set to lead the Bucs as this drive will start at the Beech 17-yard line. And some clock issues here at Page High School. Looks like it kept running after the touchdown.
They should probably put about 10 to 15 seconds back on the clock. The clock kept running. And, you know, look, if you're Page right here, you've got a little bit of momentum. You've got to carry that over onto the defensive side of the football right here. Get a stop. You've got 3 timeouts. You know, Coach Rathbone's looking at, hey, we're going to shut this drive down. 3 and out is what he's telling his defense. Let's get the football back and try to even this thing up before we go into the locker room at halftime.
They do add 13 seconds on the game clock, which reads 3:18. Okay. So right on the money.
There you go. 10 to 15, 13 falls within that range. That was pretty good.
All right, 1 for 1. First and 10 for the Beech Buccaneers. Powell guns it over the middle and just cannot connect with Laster, who was wide open. A little bit of juice on that throw for the Kentucky Baseball Committee.
Yeah, I love the play call on first down right there. Everybody's thinking run. They're a little jacked up because they just scored a touchdown. And I tell you what, he had his receiver exactly where he wanted him. Laster was standing there by himself. If that ball's anywhere near him, he's going to catch it, and he's going to run for a long ways because he had a lot of grass in front of him.
On 2nd and 10, Powell is going to go back to Old Faithful, the quarterback run game up the middle, but nothing going as he's spun down at the 20. And the clock moves to the 3-minute mark in the second quarter.
If I'm Coach Rathbone here on 3rd down, I'm looking to stop the clock. Call a timeout, try to conserve as much time as I can. And if I'm the Beech offense, I'm trying to drain as much time off this clock as I can with the play clock here.
No timeout, so clock still moving at 2:40 and counting in the first half. Page going to keep those timeouts for if they're able to get it back on offense. Powell bringing Laster in motion, hands it off to the sophomore who is probing across the 20 and down at the 25. And there's the timeout called by Page. It'll stop the clock at 2:19 to go in the first half of this 5A quarterfinal.
It's a good stop on defense right there. You get the timeout. You're going to have an opportunity to get the football back. take a look at this right here. Trying to get on the perimeter again. Faked out the cameraman. Laster's done a nice job of getting out on the perimeter because the running threat of the quarterback will hold those linebackers inside and give Laster a better opportunity to run that ball outside.
14-7, the Beech lead. And the Bucks likely going to be forced to punt it back to Page here, who all season, Josh, has just been so dominant in the first half of games. They've outscored opponents 299 to 59 in the first 2 quarters combined all season. So this is new territory for Charles Rathbone, who you see on the right, but he knew going up against an Anthony Crabtree coached Beech team that this is going to be a different challenge, something they haven't quite seen yet this year.
Yeah, and when you get to this point of the season, when everybody's good and everybody's still playing, you know, it usually comes down to turnovers, penalties, those types of big plays that are the difference. And when you get the opportunity, you got to capitalize on it. But I'm going to tell you what right here, you know, they're going to have the opportunity to get the ball back.
Beech's offense out on the field on 4th down, and the timeout's taken.
They were trying to draw them off sides right there. I don't think that Page was ready for that.
Page. Second charge timeout.
They had the
first
return
half.
team ready to go.
So that forces the Patriots to spend a second timeout with 2:19 to go.
Yeah. And the only thing Beech was going to do right there is they were trying to draw the defense off sides to pick up the first down. And it's a smart play. If you don't get it, you just call the timeout and punt it away. And, you know, Page is going to have the opportunity now to probably get the ball back. You think they're going to punt it, you know, with a little over 2 minutes left. And going to be, what, 1 timeout remaining?
Right, both teams will have 1 timeout left for the rest of the first half. Stay with us. The U.S. Navy halftime report will highlight this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, have participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the country and plenty more. The U.S. Navy, forged by the sea. Beech offense is on the field on 4th and 3. Caden Powell barking out the hard count. Play clock at 15. Will Beech snap this football? The Bucks have 1 timeout in their pocket. And they'll let it run down and spend that final timeout.
Well, when you have to do it for a second time for a redo, you lose that element of surprise right there. And good disciplined football right there by Page. You know, you really can't jump off when you have an opportunity to do it again.
Well, at the very least, Beech forced Page to spend its second timeout. So the Patriots will have 1 remaining here with 2:19 to go, a chance to go down and get points. Page will get the football to start the 3rd quarter. So huge opportunity here for the Patriots to totally swing the momentum in this quarterfinal.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're Page, you're looking to get the football back and go do something with it, to get a pretty good field goal kicker. You're trying to put some points on the board, build a little bit of momentum going into the locker room, something you can carry out with the football here in the second half as it starts.
Brock Miller will boot it away. Peyton Dickerson to receive for the Patriots. Beech took a 14-0 first quarter lead. Page able to score on its last drive, now trying to do it again to tie the game, as it is a booming punt by Miller and collected on the bounce by Dickerson at the 20. Scuttles out at about the 24. And it's a nice job by this Beech special teams unit to flip the field.
Incredible punt right there. I mean, if I was looking 55 yards, like it looked like it was shot out of a jugs machine down the field.
Tell you what, 55 yards at the high school football level, not something to scoff at. As you take a look at some scores around Middle Tennessee, Green Hill, Oakland tied up at 7. Brentwood Academy with a 10-point halftime lead over CPA. They're playing for a spot in the D2 AAA championship game. Centennial 17, Henry County 14. Winner of that game will travel to the winner of this one here, as Page has a chance to drive down and tie it up before halftime. Cruzy pump fakes, wrapped up, goes down. Sacked by Sam Keith. The sophomore defensive tackle has his first sack of the season. And Page will hold on to his last timeout.
Yeah, Cruzy was going to throw that to Ackerman. The defender stepped right into the passing lane right there and had to pull it back, tuck it, go.
1:40 to play in the first half. Cruzy airing it out down the sideline, incomplete, looking for Wilson. That was sticky coverage by Brock Miller, who started the season at safety, then moved him out to corner, and he was all over the Air Force command.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch right there, unable to come down with it. That's a ball you got to catch. Pretty good coverage right there. They got the matchup one-on-one that they wanted on the outside, but unable to convert that one.
Stops the clock with 1:34 to go, and it's 3rd and 10. And now if you're Beech, you're thinking about potentially getting the football back for the last 90 or so seconds. Cruzy under immediate pressure, and he dumps it down. Little bubble screen, hit down before reaching the 30-yard line is Mac Lee on his first catch of the game. Wyatt Davis gets him down, and with 1:20 to go, that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, not throwing the ball to the sticks is always tough on 3rd down. You're relying on the receiver to get there. You're relying on a block by other receivers on the perimeter. That's a tough one right there.
Sets up 4th and 6, and the Page offense remains on the field. The Patriots have their last timeout and may just be running the clock down before they're forced to punt it away. As the play clock's down to 2-1, and there's the final timeout from Charles Rathbone. Both teams are all out with 43 seconds remaining in the half.
If you're Beech, you go after this punt right here, try to make something happen.
Certainly feels like a big opportunity here in this chess match of a football game between two state championship quality programs. Page has yet to get over that hump. For the last 4 years, the Patriots have arrived at Finley Stadium in Chattanooga to play the state championship game, and they've come up short against an East Tennessee team each time. Last year, it was Sevier County who knocked off Page in that game. And Charles Rathbone, we asked him this week, how do you guys handle that? Do you talk about it? Do you just kind of leave it to the side? He said everybody else talks about it, so we can't hide from it. We own it and acknowledge that that's the goal moving forward.
Yeah, and he was very upfront about that. He's like, this is not something that we can hide from. This is something that we talk about all year long. And for them, it's taking that next step as a football program is to finish that thing off in Chattanooga and win a championship.
Beech, 2-time state champs, looking for their first since 2012 under Anthony Crabtree. Baba's punt, fielded by Miller, looking for the edge into Page territory as he gallops to the 45 and out of bounds with 31-30. Clock stops at 30 seconds remaining in the half.
Nice job by Beech special teamer Aiden Curry, who just kind of pulled up on that block. The defender went in front of him. Could have been a block in the back and a penalty and all that stuff, but little heads up play right there, and giving this offense an opportunity with 30 seconds left, in plus territory.
A very run-heavy offense. The Beech Buccaneers. Caden Powell, 0 for 3 in the air so far tonight. He's only attempted 66 passes all season. And he will tuck and run here, looking for the edge. He did not get there. Clock will run as Powell picks up a few on 1st down. And if Beech wants it to, that could take us to halftime here in the 5A quarterfinals.
Yeah, Beech looks very content to take this thing to the locker room right here. I like one more shot throwing it downfield to Laster. That's the guy they like to get
down the field, number 18, on the deep ball right there. But, hey, that's why he's down there and I'm up here, because he knows what he's doing.
Well, Anthony Crabtree, 21 years as the head coach at Beech and a winning percentage of 74. Certainly has made his mark on that program, and he's trying to lead them back to the mountaintop. Halfway there towards taking another step with the 7-point lead over Page at halftime in the 5A quarterfinal. We'll hear from Coach Crabtree in a moment. Beech took a 14-0 lead. Page able to strike back, and the Patriots will get the football to start the second half. But let's go downstairs and hear from Anthony Crabtree.
Coach, going into half with the lead, what did you see in your team that you like that you're going to have to continue in the second half?
Well, we didn't start off very good on offense. We went 3 and out, got stuffed. Thought our guys bounced back from that. Had a couple of good series. Defense is playing lights out. Had one really bad series on offense, and we had a bad snap. Lost about 15 yards. So, we can't make those mistakes and have a chance to win. We just got to find a way to keep fighting.
And one thing that they did do is capitalize on some mistakes from Page. How key is that going to be to create some opportunities like that to keep the lead in the second half?
Yeah, anytime you're playing a good football team, the more opportunities you can create with turnovers or penalties, the better your chances are to win.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Beech 14, Page 7 at the break. Both teams fighting it out for a spot in the 5A semifinal. The United States Navy halftime report is next.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Welcome back to Page High School, where Beech currently leads 14-7 at halftime, and I'm currently joined by Beech's principal, Mr. Kenneth Powell. First off, thank you so much for being here. It's great to have you very beginning of the season and now here to end things up too.
Right. It's great. We love to be on television with you guys. We thank you for all the support, showcasing both high schools. And I brought with me tonight our dance team members and some of our cheer members that have won multiple state titles this year earlier in the month.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just this year. They've won multiple years. You were telling me 3 years dance has won it and 2 years that cheer.
3 state titles this year for the dance team and 2 state titles for the cheer team just this year.
That's incredible. It wasn't like that when I was in high school. I wish it was. That is absolutely incredible. And just talk about the tenacity of each of these, that they're able to get it done on their respective playing surfaces, but also in the classroom.
These ladies are some of the hardest working individuals in the school. Our cheer and dance teams, they practice as much as any of our other athletic teams, and they set the bar for everyone else to chase this year.
Yeah, and also another team that was chasing state, they got close cross country. Talk to me about your cross country team.
We had two really great cross country teams that ended up in the state finals. Our girls finished 8th, led by a young lady, last name Rimillard, and her best time and one of the top in the state runners.
Yeah. And I just found out your nephew is the quarterback for Beech. So how proud are you of his performance so far in this first half?
Extremely. He does a great job for us, and he's just a great kid as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much, and congratulations to all of you guys for the state championships. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have a whole lot more for you, so stick with us. Thank you again to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Welcome back to Page High School, where it's always great to be joined by Page Principal Dr. Katie Hill, and also happy birthday this week. So
Thank you. It's a lot of fun to have a birthday during the school week because these kids are amazing and the teachers make you feel so special.
absolutely. And so tell me, Paige we were just talking, I thought Paige had been around for a lot longer. That seems like such a staple in this community, but you're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the school, correct?
That's right. We've had so much fun this year. I'm just reminiscing and thinking about all of our special traditions and our history since our opening in 1975. And we've got a lot of fun things planned for the year to celebrate throughout. And it's just been a really special school year.
Absolutely, and there's been so much success with this team and athletics all around. Can you talk about that success, but also just how they're able to get it done in the classroom too?
Oh, absolutely. How much time do we have? No, I'm so proud of our kids. Our athletic programs are phenomenal. You know, every year it feels like our football team kicks us off to such a powerful start, and all of our fall sports just follow suit and do such a nice job and compete so long into the postseason. Every time, you know, our girls golf team were state champions this year, and just really successful programs. And then just academically, we found out today that we're a reward school again this year and have been for several consecutive years. We're really proud of the work that our kids and our teachers do academically as well. So, yeah, so much to celebrate at Page, and it's just super special this year. It's our 50th anniversary. We think it's no coincidence that we're pushing, hoping, praying for a state title at our 5th trip to state, hopefully. So it's a fun year.
Absolutely, and it's always fun because the community really comes out and supports. It is insane, the support. Whenever you're driving in, you see all the tailgates. It's such a fun environment. Talk about this community and how you see that support here.
Oh, it's second to none. You know, I visited some schools in another county the last couple of weeks and got to have some conversations with their principals and share great ideas. And we got the best compliment on the culture and community at our football games. The principal actually told me he has tried to emulate what our student section does with his own at his school, and so no greater compliment to me than for other principals to tell me how great of a job our kids are doing.
Absolutely. And again, thank you so much for hosting us. It's always fantastic to be back here at Page. And thank you again to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back, Josh and Lucas, they're going to highlight stats. Stick with us. We'll be back soon.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Halfway done at Page High School, where the Beech Buccaneers lead the Patriots on the road 14-7 in the 5A quarterfinal. Lucas Panzica, Josh Corey with you in the booth as Beech is 2 quarters away from getting back to the Final Four. Josh, and the Buccaneers impressively have come out and played their style of football to the tune of a 7-point halftime lead.
Yeah, they've taken advantage of their opportunities and kind of played exactly the way that they would want to script this one. You know, and for Page, goes back to Coach Rathbone's points about executing. They have not executed on offense. They haven't been able to establish too much on the offensive side of the football. They've had some miscues. They've had some turnovers. and some overthrows when they've had some open receivers, a drop pass. And so it all goes back to that offense not executing and looking very fluid, and what Coach called clunky earlier this week in our conversation with him.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Beech got the football first, quick 3 and out. Page off to a promising start, approaching the red zone. Ball on the ground. James Pierre coughing it up, and it was J.R. French scooping it up and returning it all the way down to near the 30-yard line of the Page Patriots. And that is what set up the first touchdown of the night. Caden Powell running it in, the rumbling senior quarterback.
Yeah, Caden Powell's been so good getting downhill and running the football. There you see the score there. And the defense has played pretty well, too. That's Wyatt Davis on a big tackle right there.
Jeremy Laster giving Beech a spark on its next possession as the Buccaneers once again went back to that QB run game. And how about the wheels from the Kentucky baseball commit to get inside the pylon? That made it 14-0 Beech.
Yeah, quarterback gets outside right there, continues to run the football. And how about this one right here? Exactly the way that Page drew it up. Ball's up in the air. Caden Ackerman is in the right place at the right time, carries it into the end zone for Page's touchdown.
And that has us at a 14-7 halftime lead for Beech. As we take a look at the first half stats, all on the ground for the Buccaneers. That is their style of football. Page outgaining the Bucs 104-64, but that fumble turning into a Beech touchdown, a huge difference in this game. But penalties, Josh, 51 on the Patriots, something they've got to clean up in this second half.
Yeah, that's a lot of yards. And look, this Page team, they typically have 9 to 10 penalties a game. They had 6 in the first half. No yards passing from Beech. That's what we probably expect. They are going to make their living running the football. But, hey, Coach Crabtree and Beech said, we played lights out on defense. He was very thrilled with that defensive performance. But look for the Bucs. They're going to have to possibly mix it up just a little bit here in the second half to keep that Page defense honest.
And Page will get the football to start the third quarter as both of these teams battle it out for a spot in the 5A semifinals. But before we get to the second half kickoff, each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we showcase outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country. So let's check out some of the best from last week's action.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Raw, nice cut move, and a hurdle. He's still on his feet. Are you kidding me? Caleb Ron, touchdown. Oh my goodness, what did he just do?
He will roll right, under pressure, still on his feet, trying to find somebody downfield. He's in trouble. He'll throw it to the back of the end zone. The receiver's wide open. Touchdown, McQueen!
Michael Henry got his field goal blocked, caught it, and said, look what I found. Touchdown. In one of the most bizarre football plays you will ever see.
Pressure, throws it downfield to the middle of the field. What a catch, coming up and grabbing the ball.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea it was one-handed that he grabbed that thing and hauled it in.
Another rush, they're going to throw the screen and it's intercepted. How about the big fella, Akeem Davis? Davis staying on his feet. Look at him go. Davis.
It's like a scrum.
They can't bring him down. Akeem Davis is still moving. At the 30, at the 25, he snuck out of there. Are you kidding me, Akeem Davis? He is in for the touchdown.
55-yard field goal from the left hand. The kick is up, and it is. It's good at the buzzer. Bryant is the hero for the Buccaneers.
Start of the third quarter at Page High School in the 5A quarterfinals. The Beech Buccaneers lead the Patriots 14-7 on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. Glad to have you back with us tonight, a late November evening, a beautiful night in Middle Tennessee, and a thriller brewing for the final two quarters with so much on the line. As we take a look at some scores around the TSSAA playoffs, how about Blackman starting to pull away from the Maryville Rebels in East Tennessee, and Green Hill leading Oakland 14-7. A couple of massive upsets brewing in the Mid-State. Brentwood Academy starting to separate from CPA. Winner of this game will move on and face either Centennial or Henry County, the Cougars, with a 7-point lead in that one. High drama in the 5A quarterfinals across the Mid-State.
Lots of good football tonight, that's for sure, but the Blackman and Maryville score there, and also Green Hill up on Oakland. I think anybody thought that was a possibility the way Oakland has just run through that schedule this season.
Now, both of those teams probably had a lot of people already penciling them in for the 6A championship game in Chattanooga. And that's where both of these teams want to be in the 5A title game. We go downstairs, Sammy Kincaid alongside Page coach Charles Rathbone.
Coach, you were able to get it going offensively there in the second quarter. What did you see with the offense that you guys changed to make things work and be able to move the ball a little bit better?
Oh, we went back to just run the ball. They're leaving 5 in the box, so we're trying to run up the middle and let our line work. So, I mean, we just got to take care of the football, clean up the penalties, and we'll be okay.
And you just mentioned it, the penalties. What was the message to the team? There were a couple of really big penalties that really changed the momentum there in the first quarter. What was the main message in the locker room?
Well, I mean, just keep playing. You know, play hard, finish your blocks, finish your runs, hold on to the football, and we got to have our quarterback play a little bit better. He's not making the right reads right now, so I believe in him. He'll step up and he'll make some better throws the second half.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sammy. Page will get the football to start things off. And to Coach Rathbone's point, cleaning up some of those early miscues. You know, he talked to us this week, like you mentioned, about the inconsistencies, kind of the clunky nature of the Page offense so far. Josh, and you heard him say that and took a look at the scores and said, well, Page is averaging over 41 points per game on offense, a school record. But you can kind of see some of the things he was talking about in that first half take place.
Yeah, certainly uncharacteristic of a Page high school football team. But, you know, he said it himself right there. You know, the quarterback, Cam Crucy, is just a little off tonight. They're going to have to do something to build his confidence, get some early, easy completions. Receivers are going to have to help him out. The offensive line's going to have to help him. That's a really good offensive line they've got up front there. And everybody's going to have to step up their game just a little bit. And then you mentioned the penalties. They're going to have to – you can't have 6 penalties in a half of a third-round playoff game and expect to come out on top.
Before kickoff, let's run downstairs. Sammy Kincaid has an injury update.
Hey guys, for the Bart Durham injury update, let's start on the Beech side. Out tonight are their 2 starting nose guards. They've been out for the entire season. Out tonight is Cole Davis with that dislocated knee, as well as Callum Alva. Having limited play tonight is wide receiver Jack Becker, and then flipping over to Page out tonight is defensive lineman Kingston Wells. And also, I just saw the Page staff wrapping up an ankle of one of the refs, so look out for him too.
Uh-oh. Thanks, Sammy. We'll certainly keep an eye on that. Our crew done a great job tonight. Beech head coach Anthony Crabtree looking to protect a 7-point halftime lead.
Hey, look, this is the third round of the playoffs. It's the Elite Eight, the quarterfinals. The referee's got to wrap that ankle, and we got to go.
I'm about to need my ankles wrapped, and I'm not doing any running up here. So let's keep them good to go, put some ice on it, and kick this thing off. Only the second meeting between these programs. First one came back in 2018 in a winner-go-home battle, second-round playoff matchup. Beech were winners that night, 21-14.
Which is just so hard to believe as deep as both of these teams have played. You know, I know there was a minute there where Beech was 6A, but haven't played too often.
Well, you're right, a bit of an anomaly there as Page will start with the football at about the 25-yard line. Riley Crandall, the freshman, on the kick return, and here comes this Page offense with junior quarterback Cameron Cruz.
Yeah, you know, look, if you're Charles Rathbone, the head coach at Page, this is a statement drive for your offense. You're in the locker room, you're making some adjustments, but the message is, hey, we've got to come out of the locker room, we've got to make a statement, and we've got to play Page football right here to get back on the horse of everything that we've been doing all year long.
Cruzy 4 of 7 for 34 yards in the first half, but they keep it on the ground to Isaac Ote here, and he's loose. Ote across midfield, across the 20, and dragged down inside the 15. Anton Wright saves the touchdown, but how's that for a statement? Isaac Ote sprints 64 yards for the Patriots.
Yeah, this is exactly how you got to start it off right here. He looks like a different back than we saw in the first half. And what a great hustle play right there by Anton Wright coming from the backside of the field to save the touchdown. But Page has set up shop very nicely here to start this third quarter.
Page had just over 100 yards of total offense in the entire first half. They pick up 64 on the first play of the second. Here's first down. Back to the ground game. James Pierre gets the turn, runs it in. And the Patriots are an extra point away from a tie ball game in the blink of an eye.
Well, we said they had to set that statement right here, and this is it. They hit him with Ote, now they hit him with Pierre, almost untouched into the end zone right there. And I can't do this math, but I think that's about 44 seconds into the third quarter. And this ball game is an extra point away from being tied up. What a start for Page.
I don't know what Charles Rathbone told his running backs at halftime, but it worked. And in 2 plays, the Patriots sprint down the field. James Pierre has his 9th rushing score of the season, and Baba can even it up with the PAT, and he does. Lightning start to the second half for Page, and we're all tied up in the 5A quarterfinal on MyTV 30. Friday nights at 9:30 or after college football coverage. Don't miss Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. Catch the biggest plays, the most unbelievable hits as Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick brings you the highlights, scores, and more for high school football action across the mid-state. Playoff action. Fridays at 9:30 or after college football. Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, who we'd like to thank for tonight's financial tips. In a flash, Page goes 2 plays down the field to tie it up. That's 14 unanswered for the Patriots, and Anthony Crabtree needs his Buccaneers to come up with a response on the road in the 5A quarterfinal.
Little different energy as Page comes out of that locker room playing a different speed. And, you know, Coach Rathbone will just tell you, hey, we're just doing what we were supposed to do in the first half. There's no secret recipe here. This is just Page football. We're finally executing like we talked about the entire time.
Baba's kickoff fielded by Laster. And Laster's trying to get the edge, but the play is blown dead. Flags on the field. And they may have to come back and redo this kickoff.
Part of the kick. Encroachment on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
David White, our white hat tonight.
Yeah, that's the worst as a kickoff team, having to run all the way down the field. The play was dead before it even started, and now you got to come all the way back and run. As an offensive lineman, that hurts my heart.
I was going to ask if you're speaking from experience.
Yeah, no, we'd have to tap out and get a sub in. Of course, I would never have been on the kickoff team to start. So, it's a lot of running, but they're young and they can handle it, right?
Lucas Banzica, former Florida Gator, Josh Corey in the booth, Sammy Kincaid on the sideline. Page going to boot it back to Beech. Just under 3 minutes into the third quarter. Take two. And Baba this time drills it out the back of the end zone. Took that as a personal challenge, Jonathan Baba, and Beech will start on the 20.
Yeah, such a weapon when you have a kicker that can put it through the back of the end zone right there. No chance of a return.
So here comes the Beech offense, Josh, that really put their nose to the grindstone in the first half and was able to play their game and exactly what we talked about pregame. Time of possession, shortening the game, game control. How do they carry that over here after we just saw Page go 2 plays, 75 yards?
Yeah, it's kind of a statement drive for them, too. Backs against the wall. How are you going to respond? And what I'm looking for right here is to see if Page's defense comes out and plays with the same tenacity that their offense did on those first 2 plays.
Caden Powell, straight up the middle. That was the theme of the first half for the Beech offense. Goes for 4 there as the Bucks only have 67 total yards of offense. Of course, a fumble recovery down deep into Page territory set up their opening score. That brings up a 2nd and 6. We'll make the spot a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. High gain with a spot 5A final 4 on the line. Beech on its own 23. No flags down. Timeout.
Beech. It's a tough timeout to burn right there if you're Beech. You know, within the first 2 minutes of the first half, because as good as these two teams are with the kind of game we're seeing, you're going to need those timeouts, you know, later on in this game. So coach didn't like something that he saw. They had to burn a timeout, but that's something that they're going to need later on down the road.
Shelton Swafford, Beech running back, the ETSU commit, only 4 carries for 12 yards. Are you surprised they're not leaning on him a little more in the ground game?
Yeah, you know, really, I am surprised that they haven't, you know, come back to him a little bit more. You know, they have a nice trio of guys. DK Williams as well has been very strong, you know, in his absence, and so you know, little bit surprised they haven't leaned on Williams and Swafford a little bit more in this run game.
They're very heavy on the quarterback run, but this time they do give to Swafford, who is swallowed up. Able to lean forward for about 2, and it brings up 3rd and short. Swafford averaging over 6.5 yards per carry on the year, and his head coach just can't say enough good things about the work ethic of the senior back, going to play for another version of Buccaneers at ETSU.
Yeah, I mean, he's bouncing back. They're kind of putting him back in it. They hope that they play a couple more games with him. It's a big down right here for Beech, 3rd and 4.
Williams now the back. Powell gonna keep and wiggle through the pile. He has the first down. Falls forward, helmet comes off late, but Powell picks up 7. And it's a BMC Metalworks first down. He will have to leave the field for a play.
Yeah, I mean, he's just such a weapon when he gets downhill, that strong lower body. He's a load to tackle. But, you know, they've only attempted 3 passes tonight as Beech. And, you know, if you're Page, you can stack the box. You can bring that extra safety down in the box and, try to man up on the outside and really just go after this run. It's going to make it tough if Beech doesn't mix it up a little bit.
Sawyer Phillips, the backup, on play action, rolling and throws into the turf. So they immediately put it into the air for the junior, who is certainly much more of a passer than he is a runner, and it brings up 2nd and 10. Powell will be able to come back in.
Yeah, Phillips only attempting 25 passes on the season, and we talked about throwing the football. That wasn't who I envisioned them throwing the football with. As you see Caden Powell coming back onto the field. But they're going to have to do some of that. They're going to have to throw the football, especially on first down. They're going to have to keep this Page defense guessing a little bit.
9:01 remaining in the third quarter. Play action, Powell, left side. And Laster picks up 4 or 5 as he's wrangled down on that sideline by Drew Rimple. A little bit shaken up after the play.
Yeah, a little play action pass out there. And 3rd and 7 here. This is not a down and distance that Beech offense is built for.
This Page crowd raising the volume. Cowbells ringing on a blackout night in Williamson County. Once again, it's Powell, and he barely picks up 1.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. You've got 3rd and 7. Page lines up. They man on the outside, and they got 8 in the box. They bring that safety down, and it's really hard to run the football when you've got 8 in the box right there.
He'll punt it away on the first possession of the second half. Brock Miller to boot it. Peyton Dickerson deep. We've seen Miller uncork a 55-yarder tonight. Dickerson will get a shot of this one. He's loose on the sideline and scoots out of bounds. So Page will look to pick up where they left off and get back on the board, looking for their first lead of the night in this 5A quarterfinal.
We're thrilled to be talking with Aubrey Burns from BMC Metalworks. Aubrey, how long has your company been tied in with Friday Night Rivals?
We have been a part of Friday Night Rivals for 9 years now, and we just really value that relationship and supporting high school students in as many ways as we can.
Aubrey, if you could, tell us what BMC Metalworks does.
So we are a local family-owned and operated full-service metalworking business serving numerous industries throughout the Southeast. We specialize in design and engineering, CNC machining, steel fabrication, field team services, and even a 24-hour emergency service.
Aubrey, could you tell us where BMC Metalworks is located?
So we are off New Highway 7 in Columbia, just outside of downtown Columbia in that south of Nashville. We're on 7 acres, 3 operations building, and spanning over 75,000 square feet of production space.
Now, I understand that this year is a time to celebrate for BMC Metalworks, that there's something big going on.
Yes, we just celebrated our 50th year anniversary, which is such a milestone for us and really such a testimony to our employees and all of our loyal customers over the years. My family has owned the business for 16 of those years, and throughout that time we have just really become a pillar of Middle Tennessee community, particularly Columbia and Murray County, and we're just so proud and honored to be a part of Middle Tennessee.
Well, Aubrey, thank you to you and BMC Metalworks for being a part of Friday Night Rivals and for all the other great things you do in the communities you serve.
Absolutely, thanks.
7:25 third quarter, tied up at 14 in the 5A quarterfinals. Beech took a 14-0 lead into the second quarter. Page with touchdowns in the second and third to even it up, and the Patriots are seeking their first lead of the night after forcing a Beech punt. It's a handoff right up the gut. Pierre, who scored the 12-yard touchdown. And the last Page drive to open the second half. 2 plays, 80 yards, a long run by Isaac Ote to set up the Pierre score. And it's really been that way all year for Page, right? Coming in, Pierre and Ote each with 97 carries going into tonight. That's pretty good balance for your backfield.
Yeah, really good balance, and they both average about 7 yards a carry.
Cruzy will screen it out quickly. Mac Lee makes the catch down to the 19, and it's a manageable third down for the Patriots. They need 4.
Yeah, put yourself in a good opportunity here to convert on third and short. And if you're Page right here, you're looking for the consistency. Can we do on this drive what we did on the first drive? Can we keep playing the same way that we started this quarter out?
Page offense that's put up a school record over 41 points per game, but early struggles in the first half that they're trying to overcome here. Cruzy, quick throw, completes. Wilson's out of bounds. Tackled by Miller, and it's a BMC Metalworks first down.
Yeah, it's a nice play right there. It's a matchup they wanted. They got trips to the field side. They come back here to the boundary where they have a one-on-one matchup. And big completion right there to Knight Wilson to move the chains.
1st and 10 for the junior quarterback. Starting to pick up some traction in recruiting. Toledo came in early. His first Power 4 offer has come from the Miami Hurricanes. But they'll keep it on the ground game. Nothing going up the middle. Pierre finds space, and he's still loose across midfield and dragged down. And this Page rushing attack is starting to break wide open. 25-yard scamper by the senior.
Yeah, haven't been very sound in the second half. Beech defense in tackling. Not very fundamental tackling right there. Kind of sticking those arms out instead of wrapping up and bringing Pierre to the ground. Once he's in open field, he's really tough to bring down.
61 yards on 7 carries for Pierre. The transfer from Webb School, who came over to Page after Webb dropped his football program. Cruzy gives to Ote, and he is smothered right at the line of scrimmage, able to fall forward. Picks up a yard. And that puts Ote at 91 on the night on just 6 carries.
It's a good average right there, but with these two backs right here, can't stress enough the fundamentals of tackling, wrapping up, not allowing yards after contact, and bringing them down when you have the first chance to bring them down.
Both sharing the backfield with Cruzy, and Pierre gets another turn. Down at the 40 to set up a third down. A Beech helmet is rolling on the turf. Correction, a Page helmet belonging to Sloan Bass, the starting center, the vocal leader of this offensive line group, a unit that Charles Rathbone just couldn't be prouder of, not just this year, but over the years at Page. He says that's one of the things he is proudest of, the consistency they've had up front with the offensive line, consistently sending guys to the next level.
You hear it in his voice when he talks about how much pride he has in that offensive line. This is a very good offensive line. You don't see that. No, this is a hard-hitting game. We've seen a few helmets rolling around. You don't see a offensive lineman lose a helmet. They usually got those chin straps buckled down really tight, but lost that one. Let's check out the backup center right here on this play. Big third down.
Bennett Kaufman, the sophomore, snapping it. Ote with the give, his fellow sophomore, and thrown down, just barely has enough for the first down. Picks up 6, and that's been the key for Page, keeping it on the ground behind this offensive line, just turning away.
Yeah, this is great concentration by the quarterback right there. You got your backup center in. It's a low snap. He does a good job. He doesn't take his eyes off of it. Still picks it up off the ground and gets the first down right there. And just an incredible job of executing that, which was not a great snap.
Cruzy flanked by Pierre to his left, Ote to his right, Pierre with the carry, and there's a good response from the Beech defense. DK Williams knifing in. They set up this Beech defense so DK Williams could just go hunt, according to his head coach. And man, has it paid off. He's approaching 170 tackles on the season.
Yeah, just incredible numbers right there from DK Williams. And, they just have done such a great job, especially on that last play in their run fits and their gap integrity. And you've got DK in position, keeping his outside arm free. You've got the linebacker coming over the top. And, just everybody executing exactly where they're supposed to be.
2nd and 9. Ote burrowing under the pile. 14-14 the score. Both teams trying to punch their ticket to the Final Four in the 5A postseason. And Page just trying to assert themselves here against the Beech defensive line that has played really well all season. A bit undersized, but plenty of heart, according to Beech head coach Anthony Crabtree. He loves the way that unit has come along this year, and this feels like a big test for them on this drive in particular, trying to prevent Page from taking his first lead.
Yeah, this is a hard-nosed defense, and this is a big play right here in this football game.
Well, Charles Rathbone knows it. So he takes his first timeout of the second half to talk about it. With 95 seconds remaining in the third.
Yeah, this is an important down right here, and important enough to take one of those timeouts. We said that Beech had to take one in the first couple minutes of the third quarter, and Coach Rathbone knows, hey, we've got to try to convert this to keep this momentum going, and try to get up in this football game right here with a minute 35 left in the third quarter. But he didn't like something that he saw. I don't know if it was an alignment or something that they had called that he wanted back, and decided it was better to bring everybody over. Let's get it fixed up.
3rd and 6 for the Page Patriots. We'll see if they keep it on the ground again here. Speaking of coaches' sons tonight, how about Jacob Rathbone, Central Arkansas commit, left guard, playing for his dad and head coach Charles, who told us this week might be the toughest kid I've ever coached. He couldn't be prouder of the way Jake has played, who grew up around this program.
Yeah, and it's a special thing to be able to play for your dad, and you could just tell how proud he was of him, and they're going to rely on him here in the second half as well as the rest of this offensive line.
Cruzy flares it into the backfield for Wilson, and he is tripped up before the 30. Excellent stop by the Beech defense. French from the safety spot with the shoestring tackle.
Yeah, you get the little swing pass out there to the flats, and Knight Wilson probably wishes he could have run through that one. But, hey, Beech made the play when they had the opportunity at first contact to bring the guy down. They did it. It's going to bring up a fourth down right here. A fourth and 4, 4th and 5.
They need the 26 of Beech. and they'll bring out the field goal unit. Jonathan Baba quickly attempting and drilling. How about a 47-yard field goal for Jonathan Baba, and it's not even his career long.
Yeah, and that was pretty good because it took them so long to figure out if they were going to kick it or not. The clock was ticking down. It seemed very rushed, and he was still able to punch that through despite the
one on each team. Personal foul, number 50 of the kicking team. Personal foul, number 0 of the defense. Those fouls offset. Result of the play is a field goal.
And Page has its first lead of the night. You're right, it was a Chinese fire drill, quickly getting the kicking team on the field. And Baba made no mistake.
Yeah, he just kind of got out the old wedge there and kind of punched that thing. And, I think the decision came late, and obviously you want your kicker to have time to, get his alignment and do all those things that kickers do when they have to go out there. Their kickers are a different breed. But, how about Baba just coming out there and just knocking it through?
Well, his career long is 52. He's now 9 for 10 on the year in his field goal. As much as we're seeing special teams go to a new level in the NFL, that is just trickling down, and you're seeing it at the high school level.
Yeah, I mean, when I was coaching 10, 11 years ago, like a 45-yard field goal was like fantastic. And now, these kids are hitting, 50, 55-yard field goals, and we saw a 59-yard field goal. And the evolution has just been incredible.
Used to be even a touchback was impressive. And Baba making it a habit to boot it out of the back of the end zone. Beech will come out on the 20-yard line, trailing for the first time tonight in the 5A quarterfinal. What do the Bucks need to get back to here to get back on track?
Well, they're going to have to mix it up a little bit. And these last couple series, Page has been able to line up, pin their ears back, and just defend the run. And so Beech is going to have to do something, whether it's throwing on a rundown or something to freeze a linebacker to try to make these Page defenders be a little honest.
They will keep it on the ground. Williams and surging across the 25. Tough runner, DK Williams. It's only his 6th carry of the night. That one goes for 6.
Yeah, it's so much easier to play defense when you're just thinking run. And, when you have to honor the pass as a legitimate option, makes you think of just a little bit longer. And usually that hesitation is the difference between a decent play and a really good play.
Well, that's going to take us to the 4th quarter in this 5A quarterfinal matchup. With 12 minutes to go, only 3 points separate Page and Beech in Williamson County. Jonathan Baba drilling it from 47. A fifth pump earned by the junior. Coming up in the fourth quarter, the Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game. Plenty of options have been laid out tonight in what has been a knockdown, drag-out battle in the 5A quarterfinals. Lucas Panzica, Josh Corey with you upstairs. Sammy Kincaid down on the field, and 12 minutes remain to decide who between these two will take another step towards Christmas, another step towards the 5A title game. Beach fans don't care about your no Christmas decorations pre-Thanksgiving rules, Josh. They're here looking for a win and looking to regain the lead as Powell goes over the middle, wide open. Laster across midfield. In a flash, the Bucks are back into Page territory. 29-yard pitch and catch.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about when the think and run right here. It's a little play action that holds the linebacker. It's the same play they ran before to Laster where the ball was overthrown. That time they're able to connect, and a big-time play for the Beach Bucks.
Laster, the speedster, already collecting offers from the likes of Ole Miss, Auburn, Tennessee. Only a sophomore. See if Beach is able to get him more involved. On play action, looking that way, he's got it. Another first down, 10-yard pickup in a Bart Durham injury law chain mover, and the Bucks starting to air it out with Caden Powell.
Yeah, it's a nice play call on first down right here. Again, play action. Powell spins around. Good footwork from the big guy right there. Plenty of cushion from the defender for them to complete that pass. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, trying to mix things up and making Page just hesitate just a second on defense and keeping them honest.
Ball on the Page 34, under 11 minutes to go. Beach down by a field goal. Right back to the QB run game, and Powell is toppled. Might have picked up a yard. Page claiming it's Patriot football. Coming out with it is Cohen Grissom, waiting on a final call on the field. Didn't see the ball come out under that pile.
I think the quarterback lost his helmet again. So he's going to have to come out.
Yeah, second time tonight, and this will stay Beach football.
Let's take another look right here. Well, supposed to blow that dead. It's hard to tell right there. The helmet came off. I'm going to need these guys to ratchet these chin straps down a little bit tighter. We got too many helmets. Well, it's a hard-hitting game, but come on, guys. We got to, guys aren't wearing mouthpieces. They're wearing their pants up to their thighs and not on their knees. Let's go.
Swafford is chopped down at the line of scrimmage, and here comes 3rd and long for the Buccaneers. And now flags come out.
Yeah, you can't do this, and this is going to be a dead ball foul right here. And this is something that you can't do in the 3rd round of the playoffs. Can't lose your composure. Got to stay disciplined.
Yeah, if this is on Page, this will be a costly penalty.
After the play, personal foul, offense number 53. 15 yards from the end of the run, it'll be 4th down.
They call it on Beach right tackle London Parks.
Yeah, and it's just a killer right here. There you go. Yeah, there's just no need for it after the play to lose your composure. It's a violent game, and you're going to have some jawing back and forth, but you got to keep your composure. You can't put your team in this situation.
3rd and 24. Powell will throw. Powell will go deep. Has Miller. It's caught. Touchdown, Buccaneers. The Page crowd stunned on 3rd and 24. 47 yards. Pater. And the Bucks are back on top.
How about that answer right there? I mean, just an unbelievable play on 3rd and 24. Good protection. He rolls out, puts the ball in the perfect spot right there. And Wow, that's just an incredible play right there. Beech can throw the football around a little bit too when they need to.
Extra point is perfect from Mendoza. And the Buccaneers throw another punch with a 21-17 lead with 10:05 to go. Caden Powell showing off that deep ball. Crunch time in the 5A quarterfinals. Beech needed an answer, and boy, did they come up with it, putting it in the air. 6 plays, 80 yards, and Caden Powell is 4 of 7 for 91 on the night with a 47-yard deep ball to Brock Miller. Right in the basket, the Bucks have their first lead of the second half, and the pendulum swings in the 5A quarterfinals.
Yeah, that was a real pretty ball right there by the quarterback, and Brock Miller just got behind the defender, and Caden Powell just put the ball right on the money, and that's exactly what they needed right there in what was a 3rd and 24 situation. If you're Page, you got to get off the field 3rd and 24, and not the way they did.
Kral's kickoff fielded by Dickerson. He can return it as he wheels across the 20 and is hit down. Flag comes in late behind the play. So as we wait on that, let's go downstairs to Sammy Kincaid.
Hey guys, I'm listening in on the Page sidelines, and the defensive coordinator very upset, saying it's 3rd and 22. You're just saying it's 3rd and 24, but he's saying, why are we dropping back 11 yards? We're blitzing the quarterback. Get back. Stop watching your guy run past you and just do your job. Josh, I'm sure you can expand more on this.
Yeah, when you're putting pressure on the quarterback and you're blitzing, what that does to your secondary is you're one-on-one back there at the 3rd level, and you've got to lock those guys down, because if you're bringing more pressure, it's going to put more pressure back on your defensive backs, and Brock Miller just snuck behind him.
Now pressure's back on the Page offense after a holding penalty on the kickoff return. Pins them inside their own 10. Pierre wiggles out of it, pushing to the 14. But penalties continue to plague the Patriots. That's now 8 for 73 yards on the night.
Yeah, you just can't have 8 penalties in the 3rd round of the playoffs, and especially, at the times that they're getting these penalties, you just got to play more discipline than Page has been playing tonight, and really all season long when you average 9 to 10 penalties a game.
9:25 and counting remaining in the game. Winner moves on to face either Centennial or Henry County in the 5A semifinal. Cruzy flanked by both backs. He'll go deep. Has a man streaking open. Ted Wilson's got it in the Beech territory. Still on his feet. Wilson across the 30. Touchdown, Page. Another haymaker. 86 yards. The Patriots back on top.
Well, that's the way to answer the bell right there. Let's watch this again. He starts with great protection.
He sees the matchup one-on-one to the outside. Brock Miller not able to make the tackle right there. A good run. And Aiden Curry not able to make the tackle. And Knight Wilson is 86 yards and off to the races. What a response by Page. This is a slugfest here in the fourth quarter of this football game.
We have both teams grinding it out on the ground throughout the first half. They're airing it out here in the second. That's Wilson's third touchdown catch of the season as the extra point is good. Cruzy with his 26th touchdown pass of the campaign. And the Air Force commit with a little stiff arm at the end of the play puts the Patriots back on top at home.
It's like two heavyweight fighters just, trading shots back and forth. And, what an ending that we have set up here in store. 9 minutes remaining in this game.
More penalties. See if David White can sort this out. Sounds like it was a personal foul against the Patriots. Haven't gotten the official call yet as White gives Charles Rathbone an explanation. And it looks like the extra point will stand. And it'll be assessed on the kickoff.
So now if you're Beech, you're going to get the ball, in pretty good field position, you would think. Which it just goes back to playing disciplined football. I didn't see the penalty, but the official saw it, and that's really all that counts.
Page up to 88 total yards and penalties.
I mean, that 88 yards, that's almost the whole distance of a football field.
That's about the distance Knight Wilson just went on that touchdown.
I mean, you're giving that up in penalties. I mean, that's just a killer.
So Baba to kick it off from his own 25. And it'll be fielded by Swafford at the 20, drops the football. Able to recover it, but that gives Page's coverage unit enough time to keep Beech from having advantageous field position. And let's take a look at that penalty after the extra point. Right to the right of your screen, Cohen Grissom wearing 20 there, maybe getting into it with a white jersey, kind of out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They may have to hand out some type of award for that one. I think it took a flop. That was one of those soccer deals.
Look, I'm a soccer guy. You won't hear me complain.
Yeah, you can't, but you can't touch him. That's the point.
Right. First and 10. Powell making a move and unable to stay on his feet. Wilson, just a couple of plays after housing an 86-yard touchdown catch, comes up with the tackle. Powell ends up gaining about 1.5 yards. 8:35 to play after the fourth lead change of the night. Beech trailing by a field goal.
This is kind of what they've done all night. Great fill right there to stop his momentum going down. Knight Wilson really coming down and filling the alley right there. And that's a big old load to take on right there, but gets him to stop his feet for a minimal gain, only 2 yards.
On 2nd and 8, Powell spins out of pressure, checks it down. And down at the 34 is Caden Campbell, the fullback, on his first touch of the night. And 3rd and manageable upcoming for Beech. They need 3.
Yeah, Beech has been their best in the passing game when they moving Powell around on that play action. It's a big 3rd down right here for the Bucks.
Flag down. Multiple on the field as Powell.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 28. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That time it was Davis, the fullback, turns it into 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and that's the point here is
this Beech offense, they're made for 3 and 3. They're not made for 3rd and 8. That's not what they do well. And now you've got to go back to something completely different that you really don't want to do and is not your game plan, but you got to come back with something else here.
Every third down tonight has felt like do or die in this 5A quarterfinal. Here's 3rd and 8 for the Buccaneers. Little trickery, Laster in the backfield. Page not fooled. He is buried by Wilson. We'll bring up 4th and 12, and Beech will be forced to punt it away.
Just a great job of Knight Wilson staying home, not taking the misdirection, playing his assignment out, and then the pursuit coming back on the other side from the backside right there by number 40, Liam Perry. You know, just an incredible job by that young man right there of playing his assignment. Nobody fooled him. He's going to Air Force, so he's a smart kid. And played his assignment right there. Great job on defense.
And unsurprisingly, a major leader on this Page football team as Miller's punt is fielded by Dickerson. Shifty out across the 35. Dickerson eating stripes as he gets close to midfield. So Page with good field position, a 3-point lead, and plenty of momentum. Looking to get to the 5A semifinal on MyTV 30.
Tonight's broadcast of Friday Night Rivals can also be seen streaming live on mytv30web.com, Fox 17 Facebook Live, and YouTube. Brought to you by South College, where dreams find direction.
In a game full of twists and turns, Page has a 3-point lead in the football on their own 49-yard line. 6:18 to play, and a chance, Josh, to go down and make it a 2-score lead in the 5A quarterfinal.
Yeah, this is where you're just going to lean on that big offensive line. You're going to grind this clock. I mean, you really would like to hold on to the ball for the final 6:18 of this football game if you're Charles Rathbone, but this is where you make your money right here and look for them to get a heavy dose of the run.
Page with 2 timeouts. Cruzy over the middle. Ball caught a tip at the line of scrimmage. Was looking for Mac Lee. It sets up 2nd and 10. The Buccaneers took a 14-0 lead in this first quarter. We've been back and forth since then. As you take a look at some of these scores, upset Blackman over Maryville. Meanwhile, Oakland coming back to beat Green Hill and avoid the upset in the 6A playoffs. Of course, the winner of this game looks like will face Centennial, who has a healthy 4th quarter lead against Henry County. Right up the middle, running into a wall, is Isaac Ote. A few more scores to look at here. Pearl Cone taking care of business against Marshall County, and Nashville Christian is on to the D2 Single A state championship game behind Georgia commit quarterback Jared Curtis. What a season he's had. Meanwhile, both of these teams looking to keep a dream season alive. Page undefeated. Beech winners of 10 in a row. The Bucks have not lost since week 1. And here's 3rd and 10 with 5.5 minutes to play for the Patriots. And Cruzy wants the timeout.
So that's going to leave them with 1. You know, 3rd and 10, if you're Beech and you want to advance, you've got to get off the field on 3rd and 10.
So at the end of the first quarter, it was a 14-0 Beech lead before Page stormed back to tie it up at 14 early in the 3rd. Patriots took their first lead of the night with a 47-yard field goal late in the 3rd quarter. And then Beech came out firing in the passing game, marching down the field and going up 21-17 before Page found a spark, pinned inside their own 10, got out of it, and then hit Knight Wilson for an 86-yard catch and run. And that's where we are now in an absolute thriller of a quarterfinal.
How about the difference in this game right now is that 47-yard Baba field goal that was hurried onto the field. He steps up there and just punches it through. That's the difference right here. But huge 3rd down. I know we've been saying that, but this is a big play in this football game. And if you're Beech and you want to host that semifinal next week, you've got to get off the field right here.
3rd and 10. Cruzy with Pierre behind him in the backfield. And he motions out. Under pressure, bubble screen, back to Wilson. They go across the 40 with the first down. Knight Wilson once more, and he's thrown down inside the 15. All along, looks like the secret to unlocking this Page passing game, get the football to 0.
Yeah, it's just a great call right here. It's a little slip screen back to the middle. The linemen do a great job of getting downfield, covering up those second-level defenders, and it's just an excellent call right here. Hey, this is well worth the timeout in my opinion. That's a huge play, and they got exactly what they wanted. The linemen blocked it, executed perfectly.
41-yard gain. Knight Wilson, 3 catches for 137 and a score. All 3 catches in this second half. And the clock turns towards 4.5 to play on 1st and goal. Pierre, shake and bake up the middle, driven down by Williams at the 5.
Yeah, if you're Beech, you got to bow up right here. You got to hold them to 3 points, you know, to give yourself a chance to keep it to 1 score right here. But, you know, right now this clock is just as much of your enemy as them trying to punch this one in.
This is a Beech defense that has steadily improved throughout the course of the season, replaced 8 starters from last year going into week 1. They have matured all season and now face their biggest challenge in keeping the Patriots from making it a 2-score game. With 3:45 to play. Cruzy on the run. The junior is in. Touchdown, Patriots. Finds Pater, and Page can go up 10 with the extra point. A South College touchdown.
I didn't think they were going to get this one off. I actually thought that the clock ticked down to 0. Coach Rathbone was trying to get a timeout because he thought the same thing. They let him play, and they punch it in right there.
And it just became a mountain to climb for the Beech Buccaneers. Baba will try the extra point. And we've got a personal foul call here.
Selected to enforce the penalty on the kickoff. The result of the play is touchdown.
It's on the Buccaneers.
Yeah, dead ball personal foul. They are going to take that one on the kickoff. Obviously some frustration there by the Bucs on defense.
Jonathan Baba, perfect on extra points so far tonight. Makes it a 10-point lead. And Page is 3:38 away from a 12-0 record and a semifinal berth after a 5-play, 51-yard drive, taking 2:40 off the clock.
The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
6th rushing score of the season for Cam Cruzy, who has brought his dual threat ability to Page High School, moving from Kansas City in the offseason, and it's changed everything. It has unlocked the explosive nature of this offense, something that, according to Charles Rathbone, they haven't quite had in a quarterback in the last few years.
Yeah, and they've had some good quarterbacks through here, and what I like most about this Page team is they used to throw the ball around 45 times a game, and they would never run the football, and it actually hurt them in those state football championships because they weren't able to establish the running game, and they relied on the pass all the time. But this is a team right here that can run the ball, they can throw the ball, they're very well balanced.
Remember, Fridays at 9:30 are after college football. Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live is sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. If you want to relive the highlights of this one and all the playoff action across the mid-state, Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick has you covered. Remember, Fridays at 9:30 are after college football. Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live is sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. A lot of sad elves on the Beech side of the stands.
Why you don't do this before Thanksgiving?
Look, on a weekend where Florida plays Tennessee, we've got a Florida Gator and a Tennessee ball in the booth. We disagree on a lot of things. We agree on that.
Now, look, I wasn't even going to bring that up.
This is hostile by me. I apologize. Baba drills it out the back of the end zone. And some more pushing and shoving, and a flag comes out. Multiple flags.
Yeah, I think that's going to actually be 2 dead ball personal fouls. Which is going to be half the distance, half the distance.
Suspension for a game, you do that.
Losing their composure.
This is exactly where Page wants to be. A multiple score lead late in the 4th quarter. See if Beech made matters worse.
Fouls on each team after the play. Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, number 44. Dead ball, personal foul.
So he'll sort out the logistics.
Personal foul on the kicking team, number 62. Those fouls offset.
Yeah.
First down, Page. Beech.
Just call one. I mean,
no, they got the first one and they got the retaliation.
Yeah, I mean, just call one. The offsetting penalties is like a tie in soccer.
Powell reverses across his body, and he does connect with Brock Miller, who has the first down at the 30. Unless they spotted it at the 29. He may be just shy. Looked like he had just enough. It will be 2nd and inches for Brock Miller. And Beech has to get on the ball quickly. Play action. Again, Miller has to climb the ladder for it. A very late flag on the near side of the field sails in.
Page had 12 on the field. They didn't get the 12th guy off the field before the snap. The official that was standing right there didn't throw the flag. The guy way in the secondary saw it and threw it.
Now each team has gone over 70 yards in penalties on the night. And Beech, before the penalty, will have it on the 33, 34, depending on the spot.
Do they play with a 7-man crew all year long, or is that just in the playoffs? Sometimes they play with a 5-man crew.
Illegal substitution on the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
When you've got that 7-man crew, they're going to see a lot more things than you normally would with the 5-man crew. 5-man crew, there wouldn't have been that guy there. He wouldn't have seen it. So
Play action again for Powell over the middle. Ball's batted up, intercepted. Picked off. Coming down with it is Cohen Grissom. And more flags come in. Grissom walks away from it. Page will take over with under 3 minutes to go, but they're going to have to clean this up. Anthony Crabtree has made his way onto the field. And things are getting heated at Page High School in this quarterfinal matchup.
Yeah, you got people leaving the bench. You can't come off the bench. It just can't happen.
So in the midst of all the chaos, Page forces the turnover. And we'll just have to figure out where the Patriots are going to start the drive with a chance to ice the game away.
This could be an offsetting deal again.
We've had about 3 or 4 of those tonight.
Let's call one here. Either way. But yeah, I mean, you got to keep your composure. You know, I know it's an emotional game. Let's watch it right here. You know, a lot of frustration in there. The whistle blown. You got to just stop. You know, but more importantly, let's talk about how the Page defenders got their hands up in the passing lane. That's what you coach those kids to do. They're throwing the football. Those guys up front, that front seven, get your hands up, tip it up in the air. Got the turnover right there. That's really the important thing happening right now.
Here's David White again. What do you know? It looks like DK Williams has been ejected. It looks like they've ejected both players from the game. They do offset. And apologies, an issue with David White's mic there, did not get the number on the Page side that was ejected. Williams on the Beech side did not see it on the Page side. And we'll get confirmation down on the field. We'll see if Sammy Kincaid can't find out whose night is over for the Patriots.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing. So whoever got ejected from Page not playing next week.
Well, let's take a look at the play that led to it.
This is just such a great job right there. So Grissom is the one who tipped it and made the interception. What a great effort to get your hand up in the throwing lane right there, make the interception, and essentially seal the game for your team.
Cohen Grissom, who transferred in from Forest, also a Wake Forest commit, and replaced Eric Hazard, who had a massive season, massive career at Page, went on to Louisville, the edge rusher, and Grissom has come in and been a game wrecker, leading this team in sacks and TFLs, and now he's got his first interception of the year. Page takes over on the 30. Rather, the 31. As they go to the ground, Pierre down to the 26-yard line, and they can turn some clock here. Beech does have all 3 timeouts. Under 3 minutes to go at 2:48. And we will confirm exactly who on the Page side got ejected, because you're right, that could be a huge blow for a potential semifinal matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's no reason for it. You know, if Beech you're not playing next week, you know, Page you are. You just gotta control your emotions in that situation.
Clock down to 2:15. Ball on the ground. Cruzy does well to just cover it up.
Yeah, smart play by the quarterback right there. Just fall on it.
And if Page does hang on here as Beech takes a timeout, they will be hosting the Centennial Cougars in a Williamson County matchup for a spot in the 5A Blue Cross Bowl.
Yeah, how about that?
So if you're Beech here, facing a 2nd and 12, or correction, a 3rd and 11 defensively, still have timeouts in your pocket, what's the best you're hoping for?
Well, I mean, obviously you got to try to get off the field here, and you know, do you try if you don't gain a yard from right here, it's a 50-yard field goal attempt. I don't know that they're going to be willing to do that. Baba's got a great leg, but do you just, you know, I'm in 4-down territory here. I'm just going to try to run off the clock and make you call timeouts and that kind of thing. I would be very surprised if they're stopped here to see any type of field goal attempt or anything like that. It just doesn't help you. Run the ball, run the ball.
Pierre, wide open spaces, and hit by Miller down inside the 15. First down, Page. And inside 2 minutes to go, the Patriots fan base can feel it now.
Yeah, this just kind of parting of the seas right there up the middle. And a great run by Pierre. He's had a couple nice ones tonight. That essentially, that did it right there. Big pickup. They were probably going to run the ball on 3rd down, run the ball on 4th down. Run that clock. And Beech didn't look like they were ready for it.
This Page team that has not seen a close game all year, including taking a knee. We mentioned average margin of victory of over 31 points per game. Trailed 14-0 early, surged back to take a lead, took another punch from the Buccaneers, trailed 21-17 with 10 minutes to play in the game, and then rattled off 10 straight points to survive and move on to 12-0, and for the 5th consecutive year, head to a 5A semifinal, looking for a 5th straight trip to the state championship.
Yeah, we talked about how are they going to respond in a close game, and they were able to get in that close game, and they responded exactly how that man right there wanted them to. They were tested. This will serve them well.
Take a look at the play of the game presented by the Tennessee Army National Guard. And if you've been watching with us, you could probably guess. 86-yard bomb to Knight Wilson, throwing stiff arms to stay on his feet and gallop his way to a long catch and run touchdown. And that is what put Page out in front. 24-21, a lead that they did not relinquish on their way to a 31-21 final. So the Patriots will move on. The Buccaneers season comes to an end at 10-2. After 10 wins in a row, the Bucs fall in the quarterfinal. And Page survives and advances. We'll go down to the field with Charles Rathbone and his football team, who's still alive, into the Final Four when we come back. 31-21 the final in the 5A quarterfinals as they survive in a comeback effort, trailed 14-0 early, and move on past the Beech Buccaneers. Page will host Centennial High School right here a week from tonight in the 5A semifinals. You may still be wondering if any Page players were ejected from the late game scrum. There were none ejected. Knight Wilson will be eligible to play next week. So the Patriots will be at full strength as they continue to push for another state title game appearance. Take a look at our player of the game from what was an absolute four-quarter thriller out here in Williamson County. Presented by UA Local 572. And it has got to be Knight Wilson. Doing it on both sides of the ball, Josh. The 86-yard touchdown that ultimately gave Page a lead they would not let up made the biggest difference. But Knight Wilson tonight with 3 catches for 137 and a score, not to mention the leadership and the plays made on the back end of the defense.
Yeah, it was just such an impact tonight, both on defense and on offense. We've seen the highlights. Just an incredible performance by him.
So the Patriots will move on and host Centennial next weekend. What a night in Williamson County in the 5A quarterfinals. We'll go down to the field momentarily here to hear from Page head coach Charles Rathbone. There you see Knight Wilson with a player of the game performance presented by UA Local 572.
Shouldn't have cleaned up.
Sammy Kincaid down on the field with the Page Patriots, and let's hear from the victorious football team tonight.
Coach, can you talk about the tenacity of this team to really stick it through, get it done really in the second half, just how they were able to pull through?
Well, I mean, they finally started executing. Our defense kept us in there and allowed the offense a couple more possessions and made a couple throws, a couple runs, and that's been this team all year. I mean, that's the senior classes. They've done that for 4 years now, and you know they play hard, they play physical. They were able to finish off a few things. Obviously, Knight made some great plays, and just happy to be advancing.
Absolutely, Coach. Before this game, we were talking about just how tough this Beech team is. How proud are you of this team to be able to get it done and be that battle-tested headed into the final round of the playoffs?
You know, I got to tell you, I'm extremely proud of our front seven on defense to shut them down, hold them under 100 yards rushing, I believe, and to shut a team like that down defensively from running the ball, which that's what they want to do. So I mean, we played well up front, I think. You know, we got to come back and heal up a little bit, get healthy, get ready for Centennial.
Well, good luck and celebrate with your team, Coach.
Yes,
sir!
The Page Patriots are 1 win away from their 5th consecutive appearance in a Blue Cross Bowl. As you take a look at the schedule coming up, the first weekend of December, Division II, battling it out on Thursday at Finley Stadium in Chattanooga. And the D1 titles will be decided Friday and Saturday in the Scenic City. 3A, 1A, and 5A. That's the slot that these Patriots want to be in. Of course, Saturday rounding out the action. Going to be a fun weekend in Chattanooga, and these Patriots have their eye on that trophy.
Yeah, it's best weekend of the year, and 5 times in a row. I don't think people understand how hard it is to get that done 2 times or even 1 time. 5 times in a row, they're going to have opportunity to get back there next week, and just an incredible performance in the second half. And it all came down, you heard Coach, to execution.
More scores here. The Murfreesboro team surviving tonight in 6A. Blackman upsetting Maryville. Oakland surging back to beat Green Hill. And Brentwood Academy taking care of business. They will move on to face Baylor in the D2 AAA. That'll be a talented matchup in Chattanooga. Of course, Centennial winners over Henry County. That is who Page will see right here on this field next weekend. Pearl Cone and Nashville Christian moving on in their respective classes as well. Nashville Christian on to the Blue Cross Bowl themselves down in D2 single A.
Yeah, Coach Bernetti at Pearl Cone, he just keeps winning. He's probably got one of the hardest schedules in the state. CPA's got a really tough one too. But they suffered some losses against some bigger schools. Those kids stuck together. Congratulations to the Firebirds of Pearl Cone.
And to the Page Patriots, who are winners tonight. And thank you for another great season of Friday Night Rivals. We hope you'll join MyTV30 Sports again for Blue Cross Bowl State Championship action December 4th through the 6th. All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, UA Local 572, and Sonic, who, through their contributions to the program, make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2025 Friday Night Rivals telecasts. The United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, Bart Durham Injury Law, South College, Wilson Bank and Trust, Western Kentucky University, Greenway Kia, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Beech High School and our host, Page High School. For my partner, Josh Corey, Sammy Kincaid down on the sideline, and our fantastic Friday Night Rivals crew all season long, I'm Lucas Panzica saying good night and thank you for being with us. Final score tonight in Williamson County in the 5A quarterfinal. Page 31, Beech 21.